The idea of feedback is quite complex and can mean different things depending on where you look and what you are talking about. This happens because feedback happens in lots of different situations, like in school, in our minds, in business, and in technology. And in each of these situations, people see feedback in their own way and use it for different reasons. This variety in how we see and use feedback shows how flexible and important it is in how we talk to each other, learn, and grow. In addition to the various fields where feedback plays a role, it's important to note that cultural differences can also shape how feedback is perceived. Different cultures may have unique views on giving and receiving feedback. This adds another layer of complexity to understanding feedback, as cultural norms and expectations can significantly influence how feedback is approached and valued. This awareness of cultural differences in feedback is particularly crucial for individuals working in the pharmaceutical industry, where multicultural environments are common. Effective communication and collaboration within diverse teams are essential for success in the global industry. Team leaders, in particular, must recognize that feedback is a vital tool for managing teams effectively and achieving success. Understanding how to navigate the cultural variations in feedback can foster stronger teamwork, enhance productivity, and ultimately contribute to the industry's overall success. Feedback, as mentioned, can take on varying definitions depending on the context and the environment in which it is discussed. However, for our discussion now, let's zoom in on its definition within the business. In a business context, feedback is the communication of observations, evaluations, recommendations between employees or between employee and employer to enhance performance and outcomes. So the focus here is on the content. It's the sharing of feedback, which is observation, evaluation, recommendation between the employer and the employee to enhance performance and outcomes, and these are the objectives. It serves as a crucial mechanism for identifying strengths and weaknesses, making informed decisions, and driving continuous improvement. In essence, business feedback is a valuable tool that helps organizations adapt, innovate, and enhance their operations to meet the ever evolving needs and expectations of their stakeholders, customers, and employees. According to its nature, feedback can be classified as informative, reflective, directive, or transformative. The informative feedback is that feedback that provides insights and information that enlighten individuals about their actions, decisions, and results, fostering awareness and understanding. While the reflective feedback is the feedback that encourages introspection and self evaluation, prompting individuals to contemplate their behaviors, motivations, and goals. Directive feedback offers guidance and direction, helping individuals to align their efforts with the objectives, correct errors, optimize performance. The transformative feedback has the power to instigate change and development, enabling individuals to evolve, adapt, and reach their full potential. Also, you can classify feedback as positive or constructive, and this is the most common classification of feedback. The positive feedback has an objective to reinforce and encourage desirable behaviors and outcomes. Its impact is it boosts confidence, motivation, morale, fostering a positive and conductive learning environment. It has many applications. However, the main one is acknowledging achievements, appreciating efforts, and celebrating successes. On the other hand, the constructive feedback has the objective to highlight areas for improvement and offer suggestions for development. Its impact presents as it promotes learning, improvement, and development, fostering a growth oriented mindset. It has the application of identifying mistakes or providing corrective guidance and setting developmental goals. So, these are the two main categories of feedback, either positive or constructive. And these are the types of feedback that we use in the medical affairs in the pharmaceutical industry most of the time. Let's imagine a scenario where you, as a team leader, gave feedback, constructive feedback to a colleague in your team. However, the colleague did not acknowledge receiving this feedback. So let's talk about this. If you find that a team member is not acknowledging or acting upon constructive feedback, it's crucial to approach the situation with empathy. Consider having another meeting, a private one, and have one to one conversation to explore any underlying reasons for the resistance. Sometimes the issue may be rooted in misunderstanding the intent behind the feedback or fear of negative implications. Clarify the objective of the feedback, and that it aims to reach the collective growth and excellence in the organization. Use specific examples to illustrate how embracing feedback has led to tangible improvements for other members in the team or the larger organization. Also, offer additional support, maybe in the form of resources, readings, mentoring, trainings, and help the colleague to take constructive steps for improvement. The goal here is to turn a potentially negative situation into an opportunity for growth, both for the individual and for the team. Let's see another scenario where the colleague will reject the feedback. When a team member actively rejects feedback, it poses a more complex challenge that requires a different approach from the team leader. Resistance to feedback can often be rooted in a range of emotions, from defensiveness and embarrassment to denial. It's crucial to address this issue carefully but decisively to prevent it from becoming a roadblock to the team cohesiveness and productivity. The immediate steps that you can take starts by acknowledging the person's feelings without judgment. Saying something like, I understand that receiving feedback can be difficult. Something like this can set the empathetic tone for the conversation. Then dig deeper, probe to understand why feedback is being rejected. Is it a misunderstanding of the feedback's intent? Is it a lack of trust in the person providing the feedback? Or perhaps it's a fear of negative consequences? Knowing the root cause will guide your next steps. Then you can provide clarity. Ensure that your feedback is clear, specific, and actionable. If you are vague, this will lead only to misunderstandings. If someone knows exactly what the issue is and how they can improve, they are more likely to take the feedback seriously. So, this is a very important note because sometimes we don't want to hurt feelings and so we give vague statements. So, in giving feedback, constructive feedback, we have to be very clear. Discuss consequences. Make it evident that refusing to acknowledge feedback has its consequences, not just for the individual, but for the team and the project at hand, for example. Be clear and not threatening. For example, you could say, ignoring feedback might hinder not just your personal growth, but it can also impact the team's performance and the success of our organization or project. Refer to the open door policy. Sometimes individuals need time to process feedback. Encourage them that your open door is there and is always open for them, and that you are available for further discussion or to answer any question when they are ready to talk. This gives them room to reflect and come to terms with the feedback given. Sometimes you need third party, in this case an HR colleague, who would help in order to communicate with the colleague and verify the clarity of understanding. This step usually is reserved for situations where all other avenues have been exhausted. Remember, the ultimate goal is not just to get the individual to accept the feedback, but to create an environment where everyone is committed to growth and improvement. Therefore, how you handle feedback rejection could set a precedent for the team's culture moving forward. Now, let's talk about the 360-degree feedback. The 360-degree feedback process is a comprehensive evaluation method that solicits input about an individual's performance from multiple sources, including peers, subordinates, supervisors, and even oneself. Unlike the traditional feedback systems that primarily involve top down assessments, the 360 degree feedback offers a holistic view by capturing diverse perspectives. This multifaceted approach provides invaluable insights into an individual's competencies, leadership potential, and areas for improvement as well. For example, while a leader in the medical affairs, for example, might provide insights into the employee's technical skills and project contributions, his peers may offer valuable perspectives on teamwork and communication abilities. By combining these different viewpoints, the individual gains a well rounded understanding of their performance, fostering both personal and professional goals. In an environment where adaptability and continuous learning are critical, like medical affairs, especially in a fast paced industry, the value of the 360-degree feedback is immeasurable. It's not only helpful in self awareness, but also helps in creating development plans that align with both the personal aspirations and the organizational goals. Additionally, understanding that feedback is a two-way street and an ongoing process can significantly enhance your professional relationships and networking skills. Knowing that your colleagues, superiors, and even subordinates will provide feedback about you at the end of the day encourages a more collaborative approach to your work interactions. You are more likely to be attentive in your communication, empathetic in your relationships, and proactive in your collaborations. For instance, if you are aware that your team in medical affairs will provide feedback on how well a project meeting was led, you will be motivated to ensure that the meeting is both efficient and inclusive, and you will prepare well for such a meeting. This can lead you to being perceived as not just competent but also as a team player, thereby extending your network and influence within and beyond your immediate work environment. Don't forget that networking is one of the most important tools for career growth, and we will talk about this later in this course. Over time, this culture of open feedback can turn you into a much sought after professional because you are not just doing your job well, you are also helping others to improve and succeed. When it comes to feedback, I want you to leave this session with three important messages. Feedback is the cornerstone of effective leadership and team management, especially when it constitutes the majority of business discussions. For team leaders, it's crucial to understand that feedback is not one-way street, but a dynamic exchange that fosters growth, alignment, and innovation. Cultivating a culture that values feedback means not just providing constructive insights, but also actively listening and acknowledging the perspectives of the team members. And it's the role of the team leader to cultivate a culture that acknowledges and welcomes feedback, giving and receiving. This creates an environment of trust and openness where individuals feel empowered to speak whatever on their minds without fear of any retaliation. In the pharmaceutical industry, as an example, where the stakes are high and the margin of error is low, the culture of continuous feedback can be the difference between a team that merely functions and one that really excels and exceeds the expectations. It enables the team to adapt quickly, aligns them with the broader organizational goals, and most importantly, it humanizes the workplace by showing team members that their contributions are valued and their improvements are recognized. Therefore, for team leaders, mastering the art of feedback is not just managerial skill, it is a strategic imperative. And these are the 3 points that I want you to leave this session with. Feedback is the cornerstone of effective leadership and team management. It's your responsibility to cultivate a culture where everyone in your team welcomes and acknowledges the process of feedback and receiving feedback in particular. And for team leaders also to know mastering the art of feedback is not just a skill, it is a very important strategic imperative. Thank you for your time and see you in the next episode.